And the way I'm doing it is full presence. Like I don't need to prepare to go and stuck myself in this mental box that I have here. Like I just really need to say to myself before every session, before every conversation, listen, be present, don't assume, don't make a hypothesis, just be present.
Hello, aligned authors. I'm Valerie Isan, and this is episode 215 of the podcast, and it is June 19th, 2026, as I record this. Today's main topic is trusting your inner wisdom and power with Tatyana Gosh. First, I'd like to thank my existing patrons for believing in my work offline and here on the podcast. If you are a patron in either tier, you get all my content always. You can support me in my dreams and my writing and my aligned author life for $11.11, and I will be so grateful. Gratitude for all your gifts. If you want coaching too, though, with 2 live calls each month, you can back me at $55.55 a month. You will never find coaching sessions for less money than this. So if you've ever wanted continued support for your writing and accountability on your projects, this is the way to do it. Become a patron of the arts and of me at patreon.com/Valerie Ihsan, IHSAN. You can also support my friend and colleague and visiting co-host author Eric Mertz at patreon.com/Strange Air Stories for short stories in the paranormal mystery genre. If you want to get updates on the retreat, you can go to valerieisan.com/retreat and sign up on the wait list. And then I'll have your email address and I can send you any information about the retreat as it becomes aware to me. If you are interested in a free mini writing retreat, think cozy candle online, guided imagery, shared word count, working together, guided meditations, please DM me or leave a comment here wherever you're listening to the podcast or in the Patreon community. And let me know if this is something you want to do on a weekend daytime, like Saturday at noon or something like that, or a weekday evening, like at 6 o'clock or something like that. I'm trying to decide when to do it. So I just am still working on Mosswood Apothecary by J.P. Rindfleisch and The Creative Act by Rick Rubin. Those are the books I'm currently working on. And now let's get into the interview with Tatyana Gosh. Tatyana Gosh is a holistic life and business coach, empowerment mentor, and yoga practitioner born in Bulgaria and based globally. She focuses on helping women overcome personal limitations, heal from trauma, and align their lives through conscious entrepreneurship, relationships, and spirituality. Welcome to the podcast, Tatyana.
Oh, oh my God, I love it. I love it. Thank you, Google.
I asked you to be on the podcast because I think our work is pretty similar, actually. I work with authors, obviously, but your work is based on, like we just read, empowering women to understand and trust themselves, connect with their soul journey, and reject the conditioning of seeking outside advice and instead trusting that inner intuition, honoring that, connecting with their inner divinity, all those things. And my work has become more clearer through the months is to teach people, writers, to find that inner authority, the soul, how to hear that soul speak and marry the ego and the soul together so that we can write from that place and act from that place. And that I think makes our lives, but also our words on the page more vibrant, more authentic, more honest. So that way readers can really see themselves represented on the page, witnessed, and I think that's kind of like the ultimate connection that writers can make
I
with their
love that.
readers. So anyway, I just think kind of our work is similar. So I would love to hear how you got started in this kind of work that you're doing now and why it's meaningful to you.
Yeah, thank you so much for this intro, and I really want to thank you for also doing this work. It is very similar, and I find it so meaningful to guide people back into the inner channel, to
Mm-hmm.
God, to the source, to the divinity. Uh, I believe that we are systematically programmed away from it, and that's why so many people are lost, including my journey has been through this. And it's so important for us, the people who have found back the source, to guide other people to come back to the source that is ever present, ever like lasting. It's always there. We just need to attune back to it. And yeah, the more the better for this
Mm-hmm.
world.
I think so too. It
And
like brings a level of
right?
peace, I think. I mean,
Yeah,
it
it
seems
is
kind of
like
weird to say that we're helping world peace, but kind of we are.
totally. You know why? Because if everyone is on their soul journey, on their soul mission, they will not be creating any wars, violence, or any of the bullshit that happening around the world, because
Right.
everyone will be busy with meaningful things, like
Right.
doing things that really fill them up with love
Mm-hmm.
instead of hate and corruption and all the things that we witness outside of ourselves. But I think, yeah, once you find this place, it's so peaceful because the work is all inside, and from there you just give to the world outwards,
Mm.
right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
and my journey has been from that perspective very like standard. I was conditioned that the more you educated you were, the more successful you'll be in life. So I left Bulgaria when I was 18 to go and study in Germany. Then I strived and I like pivoted and went to London to work there. What got sponsored by my company to do a master degree, and like was constantly striving for a promotion in the corporate career. And then through a heartbreak, I pivoted, and like I started being doing yoga and being very introverted. And I discovered my spiritual side at the age around 29. So around 2012, 2013, that's when my spiritual journey started, through yoga, through really connecting with myself, doing a practice that is more quiet, more introverted. And frankly, initially it was also, the yoga journey was more how can I stay fit. And
Mm-hmm.
then because the practice is so meaningful, it took me on the journey, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then so in 2014, I quit my corporate job because I was working as a marketing manager for Jack Daniels. So I was like, I couldn't sell alcohol anymore. It was like, okay, I have to pivot from this point. So and then I went to India and did like the whole eat, pray, love journey and it lasted 10 years. So from 2014 until 2 years ago, 2024, I was on this journey of gathering the spiritual knowledge. So it was 10 years of like never enough, always the next qualification, the next
uh,
mentorship course. Like it was just taking more and more modalities. And in 2024 was when I realized, after just like I think I was studying constellations, and I just realized, it's everything I'm taking from inside always makes me actually less confident. And what I always wanted was to be confident enough to guide people. And that's
yeah.
why I was taking so many modalities, because I was always thinking, this will make me confident. This will give me the framework, and since then, like I feel like last year and this year fully, like I stepped into this like really deep inner knowing and self-love that kind of stems from it, that if I was made by the image of God, then I'm godly, and which means I have access to everything around me, like all the knowledge. And from there I'm just sourcing it from within. And the way I'm doing it, like goosebumps, and I see your eyes, is like, and the way I'm doing it is full presence. Like I don't need to prepare to go and stuck myself in this mental box that I have here, like I just really need to say to myself before every session, before every conversation, listen, be present, don't assume, don't make a hypothesis, just be present. You will get all the guidance in the moment. God will provide. And when I
Mm.
say God, I always mean this everlasting, expanding source of light that is connecting all humanity and beyond, like all beings. So, yeah, long story short, here I am.
It was interesting that you said before every session you kind of like remind yourself, you know, to be present. I had this little heart like stone. I don't know what kind of stone it was. It was gifted to me. But I
Hmm.
anointed it with like sandalwood and rose oil and before I write something for audience or come on the podcast or whatever, I also like kind of ground or anchor with it and just remember my fullness and my magic.
It's like I'm just getting goosebumps. We are so full. We are so full. We just like it's all here, like around us everywhere, and we forget and we start to box it in here. And
Mm,
yeah, the work is just really dropping from the heads. That's it.
yeah. And besides, when you get all stressed out, like the prefrontal cortex doesn't work anymore anyway. So you might as well just leave that shit. Get into the
Exactly.
body and I think that dance really helps me personally get into the body a little bit more and feel grounded and so that's been my practice. I had a yoga practice for many, many years and I've kind of well, fallen off the yoga wagon, I guess.
To be honest, me too. Me too.
I keep wanting to get back into it. It really, my body craves it. So I've got a place
Yeah.
outside with where the yoga mat lives, and I've been doing it, here and there since I moved to Costa Rica. But when I was in the States, I
I'm
had a much more rigid yoga schedule.
I'm not practicing yoga anymore. It served its purpose, and sometimes when I'm on a retreat or somewhere, I would practice. But now I just really self hypnotize myself before each session, like
Mm,
just this simple sentence, like let me be present, let me hear everything that I need to hear, let me say everything that I need to say. It's enough. And then, of course, in my free time, like I try every evening to walk, to spend sufficient time by myself. I'm a
hmm
projector. For me, it's really important to
Oh, yeah.
de decondition, like really empty myself.
Yeah. Just
So
so clarifying for people listening, that's a human design reference.
yeah, yeah.
I'm a generator, so I have that go, 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 but then I burn out because I'm working on other people's stuff, not mine. And so it's been a practice for me to like remember what's important to me and to use that sacral knowledge of this is what I'm supposed to be working on right now. And so
I think
I
regardless of your design, it's really important to take, especially as people like us who work with other people, it's just and not only like writers also, it's just so important to take time for ourselves, to schedule that in. If it's the 10, I'm doing the religiously the 10,000 steps in the evening. And I
mm,
really, there is one friend that always want to hijack my walks, and I'm like, no, I just want to walk alone. It's my time. I'm
yeah.
bridging the world. It's my world this time.
That's awesome. So I want to get back to something you said earlier about the challenge of like deconditioning, and trying to find that inner confidence, that you were striving for all that time and rejecting that you had to do more and more and more, whether it was learning or being successful in business or whatever, just more and more and more. You had to be more to be okay and to be worth it and to be successful. And being able to reject that is a feat. I mean, I'm 52 now, and I've been trying to work on this for decades. So,
Totally.
One thing that we met through a coaching, business coaching container a couple years ago. And one thing I remember watching you do in real time was get on Instagram lives and like every day you would post something. I think it was kind of like a trust exercise, was it?
Yeah.
Can you tell
And it was,
a little bit about that, like why you chose to do that and what it did for you?
yeah, and it was very interesting process because I was learning to speak, like to channel in the moment and to speak what's coming through in the moment. Um, and through that process, my throat opened. I was not able, before that experience, I was not able to hold the floor by myself for longer than 10 minutes. I would always prefer to be in a conversation, to
Mm-hmm.
interview someone, or to say something short, and that's it. And it was very interesting because it's exactly what you said. I was just learning to trust and experience in real life, like in real time, when someone was. So I will press live, and it will be fine. I will have something in my on my mind to talk about, and then I will see Valerie join the live, and then I'll be like, I would experience this like a overwhelming and like idea of like I have to impress my viewer.
Yeah.
And from that point, like everything that the channel will close because this overwhelming sensation of I have to perform, I have to impress would close my channel because then I will be stuck in my mind and I will think what do I have to say to impress. So this
Mm.
is where I discovered the conditioning to impress, to show off how smart you are.
Ah, the epiphany.
And exactly. And this is where the deconditioning happened. I was like, okay, can I be like honest in front of the audience and say, wow, I feel nervous. I feel like I have to impress you. And through talking them through my process, the channel will open again. It
Mm.
was incredible exercise. And yeah, it really unlocked a lot for me. I'm not doing it as often as I used to. Um, but I highly recommend for someone who wants to basically decondition themselves from performance and from performing and from really trying to show up one way and but all is coming from the mind and then take this like let's say 30-day challenge or even some one friend of mine that did it for 1 year
Mm.
to speak life and just to see what's coming through in the moment, always in the moment. All the magic is in the present moment. It's not here in the box. It really is not.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. Because just yesterday, I think it was, I was reading about performing, like stopping doing that and speaking from a place that wasn't a performance. It was I think I was in a Zoom room. We were talking about marketing. So this, getting on Instagram Live is like a number one, marketing hack these days. So you
Really,
could,
I
you,
should do it again.
so I think if we're writers and we're trying to promote our books, one thing I know that's really hard sometimes is that elevator pitch. It's hard to talk about our books. It's hard to promote ourselves. It just feels kind of gross or, full of ourselves or arrogant or whatever. And so doing this exercise where you go live and just trust the process and trust that whatever comes out of your mouth is what somebody needs to hear, even if it's just you, you know, then I think over time, not only would you start building a following, and have more eyes on you personally, your personal brand and your books or whatever it is that you're selling, but also I love that you called it opening your throat. Like that throat chakra is where the power of the voice is from. So if that's blocked, or you have writer's block, or that performance block, the perfectionism, anything that's blocking you from speaking your truth or writing it down, or even writing fiction that is honest, radically honest fiction, um, because they say, truth and fiction are like, I don't know what that phrase is, but they're pretty much the same thing, really.
Yeah, for me, it's the same.
So yeah, I think I really love the idea of challenging oneself to speak your truth, even if it's shaky and scary and cringe, as they say now. Like, even if it's cringe, just do it. And by the end of the 30 days, maybe that throat chakra is open. Maybe that channel is usable now, and you can write the words that you were born to write.
Totally. I first of all, I feel very strongly about this elevator pitch conditioning and like having to pitch at all to someone. Like having to pitch has this for me this energy of convincing someone. And
Mm,
if I'm there to convince someone, then it means that I have to like it's just this like I have to convince them. It's like I have to overpower them in some way. Whereas for the work that we do, especially with writing, with anything, I think is more for me more important is connection. I have to connect to the human being because through connection, then I can just give them what I have. And like, obviously, this is my work, so it's paid work, but I don't need to pitch something to someone. This doesn't resonate with me because pitching on itself puts me in my head. Like, I have to perform. I have
hmm
to do something in order to get something. It's very transactional. Whereas connection is like I'm planting a seed. I'm showing you here is my heart. This is who I am. If it resonates with you, take it. If it doesn't, don't. Like
hmm
there is no, I trust that you have enough power in yourself to choose what's good for you. I'm not gonna sell you bald people shampoo if you like if you're bald and I'm like trying to convince you that this will work. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like it's like if we strive for connection, then even if in this moment this person is not buying from us, we are planting the seed. We are opening up to them, and then to everyone else. And for me, this resonates so much more. And this is like the truth about the truth of who we are. It's a practice. It's a practice because we have
Mm,
been conditioned. We have been conditioned through our childhood, teenagehood, university, all the years to be certain way and to practice speaking what's true for us in this moment. It's really scary. It was really scary for me, like to say I don't resonate, or to say everything that's just coming through in the present moment because it's truth, to speak it despite everything. It's or I really deeply resonate or anything. It's just it's the most powerful practice, and I think that's why also we've been conditioned to perform because we are then away from the truth. And this is where our power lies. This is where our people see us and recognize us and want to connect and buy from us and be in our community, because we connect through truth. It's the same vibration, my truth with your truth. It might not be the same words, but it has the same frequency of truth. Your
hmm
truth and my truth vibrate on the same frequency, even though it could be completely different. Like, let's say it could be two religions, and I believe in mine and it's my truth and you believe in yours, and if we connect on that level, it doesn't matter the substance behind.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it's just it really becomes simple the more present and the more truthful we are, the less mind there is, and the more the work becomes a flow rather than a mental process, because the mental process creates so much struggle and so much effort. And
Yeah.
that's the masculine, like that's how we are conditioned to be in business. And that's why for me the business feminine led business is more about really being honest, really being vulnerable, really seeing what's coming through, and even if it's the most ridiculous thing, saying it anyway. Because even it doesn't resonate with the audience right now, maybe I planted a seed in one person who will come in 3 years from now and be like, this seed
Mm,
changed my life. And if we are missionaries, if we are changing the world, it's not just about the transaction right now. It's about
mm.
like I'm here to serve a mission, and that is truth, you
Yeah.
know?
I think as I don't want to be all bashy, and I'm personally married to a feminist, but I think as women, that performance thing goes another level deep, and you have to be a certain way as a wife, as a mother, as a woman. You have to act in a certain way and smile in a certain way, to be socially acceptable. Um, and and that's taking away our power.
Mm-hmm.
So I do really resonate with two of those things that you said about the taking back our power, and also the connection that you were talking about. The your truth and my truth are of the same frequency. That's what I was talking about before in the writing. Like if you can speak from your purest, truest, radicalist honesty, and the reader reads those words and has that same like recognition, oh my God, this is my truth too. There is that connection. And and so if you're looking for followers and places to plant those seeds or just connect with other humans, that is that has to be the first thing that we do, is be honest. And, it
Totally.
took me so many decades to learn how to be honest with myself because I was performing and lying my whole life, my whole, like, since puberty. So,
Yeah.
and so because, because that's so ingrained, and because, like you said, it is a practice, it's not like, okay, now I know, so I'm done with this whatever. I feel like I constantly have to remind myself of my power, which is, partly why I've got the anchor, why I say affirmations, why I do morning pages, I do have that self-reflective time. But as far as like daily reminders of my personal power and my magic, and reminding myself that it's safe to seek my inner wisdom and trust my intuition, what tips would you say for a person to like remind themselves lovingly and often, like what a divine badass goddess or god, we are?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a practice. It's also for me, it's not something that you learn once and then I often like I will open my Instagram and I will see this salesperson telling me how this is the framework that got their client. I just received a message from someone that got their client from 1,000 a month to 26,000 a month. This is the framework. You have to just copy, paste it,
Mm-hmm.
and like my ego is like, okay, let's go. Like it's like I'm curious, but then I have to remind myself because there's this hooks like this things on the internet all the time trying to sell us performance. Like it's everywhere
Mm,
nowadays. Everyone is trying to, they found the framework and they want to sell it to you. It's like, and I have to remind because even like just now before our call, I received this message and I was like, oh, I'm curious. And I have to remind myself, it's like, no, this is I know you're curious, but this is not authentic for you. You've tried it. And what really helps me is first of all my walks. I told you, like walking and thinking about my things, and like and just being in nature as much as possible. You in Costa Rica, you have the same like wild nature, so it purifies us immediately. And like ocean, sea, swims. This is just so empowering, and also just listening to other people, having a network of other people who are doing the same work, because the more we connect to people on the frequency of truth, the more we start recognizing it in other people.
mm,
Because I've been tricked, like I've been tricked so many times to join a mastermind, like courses, all of this 10 years, like over 10 years in like trying to become more. And it really helps when we connect to people who are encouraging you to be you. And you feel when they speak, the frequency is not, I'm gonna sell you my thing. The frequency is more, discover your thing. You have it. It's yours, is authentic. You have the code. You don't need to copy mine.
Hmm.
If mine inspires you and it's authentic for you, you can do something like this. But definitely mine is mine and yours is yours. And you have so much wisdom to, like, encouraging you to search within yourself. I think that's the power. That's where the power lies. And we feel it then in people, because it's like we start to develop this sensation inside of ourselves. I feel it with people when I speak to them, if it's coming from an authentic place. And you feel it, like we get the goosebumps, you have like watery eyes. Our body is so attuned to truth,
Hmm.
uh, and we just need to be more present and more present to catch it, to feel the truth in our body.
And create the space like on your solo walks where you can be reflective and listen because our world is so freaking noisy that it's hard to hear ourselves. I mean, I when I had small children, I used to joke, like half crazy joking, that I couldn't even hear myself think, or I couldn't even think a whole thought without being interrupted or whatever. But that's like with, picking up your phone to do something intentional and oh, there's Instagram and I'm scrolling and then I put my phone down because I think, oh no, don't do that. And I put my phone down and then I remember, oh yeah, I have to text blah 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 and I pick up the phone to go do that again and I get on this like cycle. There's so many distractions and if you're neurodivergent at all, like our world is
Who
really
isn't
bad.
nowadays
I
anyway?
know, right? I think our world
Like
created
everyone.
that in us. So, yeah, being in nature, grounding, dancing, any container that you can create that allows you to listen to yourself, I think has to be something that's so important that need to do it like every day. I mean, it's exercise, right? Like it's so
It's
important.
exercise. It's a
It's exercise.
muscle. It's an inner muscle. It's this inner knowing muscle. It's a muscle. You have to train it every
Yeah.
day listening. Is this, and with small decisions, even like, do I want matcha or coffee today? Like these things, like what feels more good for my body right now. Like my, just this week, my period was late with 1 week, and it really slowed me down and was like, okay, how can I? Because I was trying to lose weight and I was eating more, like more protein and less carbohydrates and fat, and I think I messed up my period a little bit and was late with 1 week, and this 1 week was like, okay, now I can eat fatty foods, like now it's, now more avocado, put more avocado, like all these
Yeah.
things. It made me, it's funny how through, we just really have to be intentional and we take things for granted, but especially when you are building inner muscle, it's daily listening for everything. Do I want to connect with this person? How do I feel? This friend invited me to this party. Do I immediately say yes? Or do I feel like, oh, actually, it doesn't feel right to go out with her because, like, I get so full of her, for example, that, so things like this, just to start asking ourselves not to be on autopilot all the time, and trust. It's very, I think the inner listening is very logical. That's why it's hard to trust it at the beginning, because it tells you no many times, and
And
starts
we
to
sometimes we don't want
listen.
to hear no. We're like, no, no,
Yeah,
no, but I want
yeah, we're
this, whatever.
like we want to go to the next party and the next event and the next course. And actually one of my mentors was very was saying, this is Jacqueline Shaw. She was saying how, like, really stop consuming social media. It's really, especially if you want to channel, if you're writing a book, if you want to channel your own um, language, really your own thing, stop listening from outside, because it really gets it interferes into your message. And it
Mm.
might be you might bird something and then go online and see, oh, this person did exactly the same thing, because it's frequency, you connected to the same channel. Doesn't
Mm.
matter. But one thing is for you to download it and then figure out that other people are talking the same thing. And then it's another thing for you to go and scroll. For me, it happens sometimes. I go and scroll for a little bit, and then I create content that's basically an idea that I already saw. It's different frequency when I
Mm.
post it. The things that come as
Ah.
my idea resonate and also perform on social media much better than something, oh, I saw this is viral. Let me redo it, you know?
Yeah. So, what would you say to like that fear of being seen, that fear of being judged, that fear of being vulnerable? I'm really taken with this radical honesty approach, like just getting even in my content, not necessarily even live, but like just in the content that I write, just being like just out there and just saying whatever is coming, even if it's, I don't feel good today because whatever, and I feel sad because of this. And even if it's something that's not part of our message or part of our branding or related to the books we're writing or related to anything, we feel like it doesn't matter. Like being able to just say what's on your mind feels like a necessary clearing of your throat. And
Yeah.
when I write a rough draft of a novel or any work, that's not meant for anybody else's eyes. It's just, the vomit draft. It's just the thing it's clearing your throat, it's getting it out on the page. And then, like I'm an editor, I really like being able to like form my words and say exactly what I mean and sculpt it so that it represents everything that's true about me. And and I feel like and therefore that showing up and being vulnerable and just saying how I feel, whether it's off brand or not, feels like the rough draft that you're not supposed to let anybody see. So I know we're kind of probably talking in circles here, but I still,
No,
even though
no.
I resonate completely with everything you're saying, there is still that like choky, block that shit off. Don't say that. Nobody's going to like that. That's not meant for anybody but you. Stuff that. How do I break through that? I mean, I know I just have to do it.
Yeah, practice,
Practice. Yeah.
practice. Right.
Practice in little ways.
But also I always tell my clients one thing is like, if because there is this thing about being seen. Often it's about certain people that we know, and I always just tell them, just block these people. Like if they will, like if there is someone, even like 0.1% of your friends that you will feel cringe when you post your content, block them, restrict them, just so that you can feel free. Because and at some later point you can unblock them once you've regained this courage. But there is certain, and then we can also go into this alley to ask why are they even your friends if you feel cringe when you don't want to be fully seen. But it's with so many, with us, with our families. Like there are so many people that have their family cannot hear them say something against God or about God, or all these things that are very sensitive, all the topics that are very sensitive. And I always say, if there is people that you imagine judging you, block them, so that you feel fully, like, if you don't know who is watching it, you like at your content, it's much harder to feel like being seen, because it's just you and the camera, it's just you and your church, really. It becomes a, yeah, just a space to purify.
And I think other people before us have created pen names, have been anonymous online, created some secret Instagram account, and that's where they do all of the things and they build a following that's completely separate that nobody they know knows about. And I can see how that would be really freeing. And if you're having trouble like starting and getting on the journey of trusting yourself and listening to your honesty.
Exactly, or written content. If like speaking, it's really a barrier, write it, whatever is needed, so that it the work is to share, to basically connect with people, and whatever works for you. And for me also, one thing that maybe it's really important to mention is that um, it's really important to work on our to discover our top three values in life, because for example mine are mine are truth, connection, and growth. And connection and growth and truth, they all kind of are intertwined if you think about it, if you look at my content. And it's the decisions that we make for social media, but also for all of our lives. Once we discover these top three values and we always lean back on them, it becomes much easier to make decisions. Because if my, let's say, like, if I want to be more like reserved and like low key life or something, it's my value, then I'll probably not want to show my face every day on Instagram, and that's totally okay. The fact that Tatyana is showing herself doesn't mean that you have to do it. Like, it's
Right.
just whatever is your truth. That's the most
Hmm.
important. So
Yeah.
it's not one recipe for all.
Um, we're kind of coming towards the end of our time, but I did have one question. It feels kind of like out of order now in the way our conversation has gone. But I'm wondering about what you think about like reparenting, like nurturing that inner child that was hurt and started pulling back from sight, or, when the conditioning started sinking in, do you think that kind of reparenting work works? How do you go about doing that? Do you do that? Do you teach that? Do you think there's
Mm,
value in
I
it?
I don't do it anymore, to be honest. Um, I used to see value in this when I was relying more on psychological, like therapy ways of working with people, and now I really my my attention is more, let's unlock the power now, because all the stories are, they like all the childhood stories of are just stories. And if we continue to carry them with us right now, it's like we are empowering them, and all the time we are looking back. So, and my intention is to start looking forward. What can I do with what I have now, from a place of power, because power is access now. And of course, like, my biggest goal is for women to love, like I call it, to become self-obsessed. And if you think about it, to be self-obsessed is to be your mother and to be your father and to be like your biggest cheerleader, and to be like 1000% cringe and not care because this is what you want to do. um, and like finding this courage, but I feel I don't like so much to dress it in the concept of reparenting, because it's this dynamic that something is not okay with you and you have to hold yourself. And it's like, for me, it's more like move away from these stories. The stories are past. What can we do with now? Where the more I focus my attention in my goal, in what I want to achieve, the more everything just falls away. It loses power because there is no attention there. Rather than poor me, let me mother myself and hold myself. It's like, okay, let's focus on, like, let's, like, when a child cries and you refocus them on something else, and then they forget why they cried, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
It's kind of the same with adults. I feel we are, I think it's also a conditioning to dwell too long in the victim, and to have a mother, and to it's still, it's good for a while, but I think I like to move quickly away from it, because it's like we are so powerful. We don't have time to be victims. We don't
Mm.
have time to be children, you know? We are just like this magical dragon women here to change the world, and we're gonna waste a second thinking otherwise. It's like, no, no, thank you.
I love that. That's going to be
Right?
the
Like
that's
just
going to be the
remind us,
teaser for the show.
right? Yeah,
Powerful
like
dragon women.
sway your dragon tail and like remember who you are, feel your spine. And you know you have this dragon energy in Costa Rica. We have it here also in Ibiza. We are magical creatures. We really have to remember who we are.
Yeah. Mm, I love it.
And we just like we are mirroring each other. That's why like I will never get tired to say just surround yourself with people who are not creating superiority, where there you feel equality, you feel like we are just humans on this imperfect human journey. We are learning, we are falling on our faces, and we are getting up again. It's just all fine. Like stop pretending that you are further ahead or blah blah blah. It's such stories like, and even all the money at the end of the day, what we will take away from this experience on planet Earth is not the millions we made. It will be the experience, the expansion, the growth that we made. So never forget this, because we're all here to learn, and
Yeah,
that's 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 the goal.
I think so too.
We're all here together. Like for me, equality is something like when I connect with people who make me feel one of them, immediately gives me courage to stop dwelling in like I'm someone needs to help me and I have to remother myself and all this. Like we're fine.
That's that's empowering to hear, you know. It's a good reminder like we are powerful. We don't need to take another course. We don't need to follow somebody on Instagram to tell us what the framework is. And I mean, even if I'm selling the framework, you know what I mean? Like you said earlier, yes, I do this for money, but if it doesn't resonate, if I'm not
No, but
the
also
witchy book doula for you, then then don't come over here.
yeah, and also the framework could be a starting point. And I've used other people frameworks, but then realized, okay, from this is the starting point. This is Valerie who empowers me. And then I take off from there,
Hmm.
and then you become the mentor just to bounce off your ideas, because they can create their own framework and their own pathway to success. So
Yeah, like a jumping off spot.
totally.
That's cool. I like looking at that. It helps me feel like I'm okay charging money for our work, you know, because sometimes I remember I used to I never lose that credential, but I am a certified bereavement facilitator, which just means I can run like support groups and for grieving people. And I couldn't ever call myself a grief counselor because I don't have the credentials for that, depending on where you live and what state you're in. But I used to feel really terrible, like charging money for anything related to healing from grief because it just felt like I was capitalizing on grief. But but I really like the way you framed it for me, for all of us listening. That it's
Exactly. And
just a jumping off. It's an inspirational ledge, I guess. You know, it's just here. Let me hold you until you got it.
I have something to say to this, because this is also where the disempowering of women happened, because all the emotional support was something that is very human and you have to provide it for free. And all the taught knowledge, the one that you have to learn from someone else, is something okay to charge for, and it's just such
Mm.
bullshit, because the emotional nurturing and holding and like allowing someone to take off from there, and like when they're grieving, holding them and being paid for this energy is priceless. It's like, why not?
Yeah.
This is so valuable. I think we have to. This is also part of the deconditioning for women, that supporting other women. I felt I had last year a process when one of my clients was going through a hard patch, and she wanted to have more than one session a week. And I felt really bad because I was like, oh, I'm capitalizing on her like difficult period. I was like, shall I just not charge her? And I had to work through this myself and be like, she has the resources to pay me. She's grateful to get more of my energy, and I should celebrate this because I'm empowering her. She has the power to choose me, and I'm her resource, rather than I feel bad for her and that's why I will support her. Like, you see, there is a lot of disempowerment if I give it to her for free as if she's the victim. Whereas, no, she's
Mm,
empowered, she's choosing me to have me 2, 3 times a week because she has power.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that seeing it that way is like give people the power that, like, of course they want to pay us. They would love to pay us for this, to carry them through the birthing and beyond.
Yeah. Sure. So let's talk about you then. How do you work with people? How can people find you? Give it to
How
us.
do I? Yeah,
Is there
so
anything you want to promote?
I am actually the one thing that is new for me. I until now I have been coaching mainly one-on-one, and I'm launching sometime soon. I think 2nd of July is my launch date. It's Jupiter entering in Leo. I'm gonna I'm launching a group program called the Empowerment Circle, where we will women will come together to be empowered by me and by each other. Because I think often when we are in circles and everyone is sharing through their challenges, we realize that we are going through the same things. And when we realize this, that act on its own gives us power, because it's not like poor me here alone doing the work. It's like everyone is growing through growth and expansion. And
And there's that
yeah, so
sisterhood and belonging, and like the group is
being
holding.
seen.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, totally. So this is my next new baby. It's called the Empowerment Circle, and I rebranded my business. It's called IamFireheart.com. This is my website.
I am
I
Fire Heart.
Fireheart.com. Yeah,
Okay.
that's my website. And yeah, I think it's all about really feeling. I chose this name Fireheart because the work, when we are in truth, when we are in our passion, there is this, we feel a lot of fire here in the heart, and that fire keeps us activate courage and move through the all the challenges of visibility. What will people say? What will people do? It's like the fire is bigger than the fire here serving our truth is bigger than any mental conditioning. So I love to, for every woman to be in that fire energy. Like,
Yeah.
keep that heart burning, even if you make a mess out of your Instagram. Who cares? We're here to learn,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, that does feel so wonderful. I'm definitely going to
right?
check that out. How long does the
Yeah,
group container last?
forever. I'm gonna
Okay.
do it like, no, I'm just gonna, it will be 4 months to start off with, and it will cost only 166 a month. Very accessible. So people can start with 4 months and then decide if they want to continue or if they took what they had to take. I think 4 months is really good period to get yourself back into your power, back into like trusting yourself, listening to yourself. But in my experience, like, people like to stay longer because it's just so nice to have this place to always go back to
Hmm.
and recharge, and also, yeah, bounce off your ideas.
Sounds like it could be therapy in a way, sort of. I mean,
Totally.
yeah.
Although, like, the therapy idea is more to heal, whereas I'm like, okay, we heal through going, like, we feel and we go, we feel and we go, because the healing itself is like, let me pause, and of course if it's needed. um, but when we are on a mission, we want to feel, and that provoke, like, the intuitive kick to provoke an act of doing, of going forward, of moving. with our
Yes.
medicine, right?
Yes. Yeah, yeah. Mm. Thank you so much for coming on here, Tatiana. It was so awesome to talk
Thank
with
you
you
so much.
again. It's been a while. We should like keep in touch a little more regularly.
Yes,
I love your
yes.
energy.
So likewise, I always feel so. One thing I wanted to say is that also it's really good to accept that with some people who cannot see our magic, this happens to me all the time. I'm like, I cannot speak. Like literally,
Mm,
I cannot say my magic. I feel like I don't know, like I feel like I'm from another planet, and it's so good to honor this that with people who don't see our magic, our throat is closed. It's an energetic protection, and I'm so glad with you. My throat is like give birth. Like I feel seen, and it's so important, and it's good for people to notice this and to witness it, like to
mm,
honor it in their lives, not to force it to impress someone who cannot see you. It's a waste of time,
yeah. Mm. Ah, what a great closing comment.
right? I
Thank
love
you
it
so
so much.
much.
Thank you for who you
Mwah.
are. Enjoy my Costa Rican waves. I love it so much.
I'm going to the beach
And
now.
goosebumps. I love Costa Rica so much.
Well, you'll have to come visit me. Also,
I will
total
next
sidebar,
winter.
next winter, is that what you said?
Yeah,
Um,
I hope so.
that would be rad. I wanted to just go way back to the beginning. You said so you're from Bulgaria and then you went to Germany. You left Bulgaria at 19, 18, something like
Hmm.
that.
Yeah.
And then you went to Germany for school. So
Hmm.
my husband is Turkish, but all his ancestry is from Bulgaria. And he went to a German high school in Turkey. So German was his second language,
Goosebumps.
right? And he went to the States when he turned 19 for school. And yeah, has been here ever since. So there just
Yeah, I
seemed to
want to.
be like a lot of like, oh,
I
sounds
wanted
super
to maybe
familiar.
to finish with one thing. Yeah, it's I think all the humans that we connect, all our clients, friends, colleagues, all of these people, I heard this recently, are souls that we already know. And it's just like you
Mm,
see these little connections, like it just gives me goosebumps. And when I read their gene keys or human design of clients, it's always something that, I see why we have connected. It's just
hmm.
like we are so interconnected. It's so magical.
I love it.
We
So
are
our
stronger
passion then
together.
is to find the people that we're already connected with. And
Find the
that
people.
makes marketing sound a lot easier.
It's no marketing, it's connection. That's all.
Yeah.
No convincing, no selling, just connect.
Yeah.
People who love you would give you their money. They want to support you
Yes.
and they
Mm.
want to take from you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Mwah.
Mm.
Thank you for your time.
Bye bye.
And bye.